What are some of the strategies that you had working, just like those practical things that you mentioned that maybe we take for granted? I mean, nutrition, exercise,
Yeah.
sleep, finding a doctor while
Yeah.
you're on the road.
It's difficult. I had to, and I've done 3 Broadway tours thus far. And I had to kind of find and maneuver my way through it
Mhm.
and find out what worked for me. Everyone's process works different for them. And of course,
Mhm.
you ask questions, you ask your peers, gratefully with these shows, I've always kind of toured with some people in it who I've already known in life.
Mhm.
Um, so, you ask questions, but everyone's process is different and what works for them is different. It is
Mhm.
a journey. You know, if they wanted to do reality shows, they can do one on Broadway tours. But then there'll be a lot of there'll be a lot of different things that we had to, sign off and release. And
Did you have a particular routine? Like when you arrived in a new city, like what's kind of the first couple of things that you would do?
yeah, I developed one. I learned that I needed to develop one.
Mm.
So let's start just by saying that of course we do 8 shows a week. And technically we get one day off, which is Monday,
Mhm.
which turns into our travel day.
Oh, you travel on your off day? Oh, ugh. That's like cheating. That's not
Talk about
that's
it.
not an off day.
It's not an off day. It's a travel
Wow.
day, and especially if you're traveling and you travel, get up in the morning, and then you don't get to the city till like 3, 4, 5 o'clock.
The day's gone.
And when you get there, you have to figure out what food are you gonna get, first of all, for that day after traveling because 'cause you're hungry. Then figuring
Mhm.
out what food will be for the week. I'll touch back on that. Um, Acclimating yourself to the hotel. For me, checking the hotel, derating it, making sure it's really clean, doing all those protocol things for me to feel comfortable, and then to sit down and try to have a moment for yourself before Tuesday begins.
Mhm.
I don't think people really factor in those elements for us as, they do all of this. So,
No.
my schedule that I figured out for myself is to come in, do those things. Um, I realized that I started traveling with a mini burner kit that I had. It was a burner and an air fryer.
Okay.
Because when you get out of the theater, it's around 11:30. Most of these cities that we go to that are maybe not be major cities, things close early. Things close while we're on stage or are
Yep.
closing as we're getting out. So, one thing I used to do was at certain points in my show, I knew how the show ran, so I would pre-do a Uber Eats or a uh, thing, so it was arriving to my hotel as I was getting to my hotel. That's one thing I used to
Nice.
do, and then realizing that eating and the things that you have open are not really nutritious for you to eat.
Yeah.
Especially at that time of night, knowing you have maybe another show or 2 shows to do the next day. Um,
Mhm.
so then I developed my own way of meal prepping, which is how I traveled with a burner, um, you know, and my air fryer, and trying to set that up so that I had food during the week. So I would get into a city, probably try to, if we didn't have a car because we were close to the theater, try to
Mhm.
do a grocery delivery to the hotel. Most of our contracts, we made sure that we had a refrigerator in the room, even though it's a little small. I found what I needed to finagle my way through it, and
Mhm.
yeah, and then Tuesday starts. And don't be, fortunately for most of these tours, I had a either leading role or supporting leading role to where now you're in the city and you have press the next day because opening night is on Tuesday. So you're
Mhm.
getting up early in the morning to
Mhm.
be on TV or be on radio or whatever, what have you, come back, maybe try to recoup for a minute before you get to the theater for a sound check at 5 o'clock, to look at the lay of the land of the theater, look at your backstage traffic, because now the backstage is different because we're in a different theater than we were in the last city.
Right.
Figuring out, talking to my dresser, making sure things are right with that, making sure things in my dressing room are cool, the way I needed to set it up for, everything that I need throughout the show. And then once you kind of do that, the show happens. If you have a talk back, if you have a meet and greet afterwards, then you're not really getting out till like midnight. To then go
Yeah.
home, try to have some kind of a life. You create this
Yeah.
family, on tour. Maybe you guys do something. Maybe you go out. Maybe y'all just hang out in a room. Maybe y'all hang out in the lobby. On Ain't Too
Mhm.
Proud, we had a lot of spades players, so we would have, spades, you
Oh,
know,
come on.
night or whatever. Oh, come on, come on, come on.
Boy, we used to woo.
And then try to
I
get
did.
some sleep to do it the next day.
Mm. It's funny because what you're describing is like, I've done a lot of regional theater. I've worked around the country, um, and it's so similar, except for the part. I mean, the obvious part, but it's you know the part where every week or 2 weeks you're moving locations.
Yeah.
So like I did a show at Alabama Shakes,
Mhm.
all black cast, and we would play spades till like 3 a.m. sometimes.
Yes.
You're just developing these relationships, and you're like you said, you're trying to have a life outside of the show. And for us, we did that, and like, but we were in one place the whole time. And so I can only imagine you trying to juggle like that social life while also like, some days you want to hang out, but then you're like, well, shoot, tomorrow we got to move again. I got to do another grocery delivery. So, yeah.
Hey guys, thank you for checking out The Actor's Instrument on YouTube. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a beat. You can follow us at Actors Instrument Podcast on all social media platforms. Till next time, y'all. Peace.